Lovely pass, Vinicius Junior, Rodrigo's running free, might come from Mbappe, Kylian Mbappe, 2-0. Mesmerising, wonderful.
When one of the world's greatest players decides to leave his club of 7 years, emotions run deep. On May 10, 2024, Kylian Mbappé released a video announcement that shocked the football world. But his reaction to leaving Paris Saint-Germain revealed much more than just a simple farewell. This was a moment that showed the true complexity of his journey at the club and the incredible depth of what he was leaving behind. The emotional announcement that surprised everyone, Mbappé chose to break the news himself, posting a video directly to his Instagram and X accounts. His voice trembled as he spoke. He said he had always promised to be the one to speak directly to fans when the time came, and now that moment had arrived. He was leaving Paris Saint-Germain after 7 incredible years. But what made this announcement shocking was not just the news itself, it was the raw emotion behind every single word he spoke. In the video, Mbappé described how difficult the decision was. He kept emphasizing something that caught everyone's attention. "I never thought it would be this difficult to announce that. To leave my country, France, the Ligue 1, a championship I have always known." These words showed that this was not just a professional decision. Leaving France, leaving his hometown club, was tearing him apart inside. He was saying goodbye to the place where he had grown from a teenager into a global superstar. What was particularly moving was his gratitude. Mbappé thanked all 5 managers who had worked with him during his tenure. He thanked the sporting directors. He thanked everyone who had supported him. He even said something that revealed his deep love for the club. "It's a club that I will keep in my memory my entire life. I will tell everybody, my whole life, that I had the chance to play here." Walking through the stadium with his family, the script of his reaction didn't end with the video. Right after making his announcement public, Mbappé did something truly remarkable. He went directly to the Parc des Princes stadium with his family. He walked into the supporters section where the passionate ultras gathered. He joined them at their end-of-season celebration. This wasn't a formal farewell press conference. This was something much more personal. He thanked the ultras for their support over the years. He stood with them, celebrated with them, and showed them that despite everything that was happening, his love for this club and its people was genuine. This moment revealed something crucial about how he was feeling. He wasn't running away angrily or dismissively. He was saying a proper goodbye to people who had supported him through everything. The ultras reciprocated his respect. They had organized tributes planned for his final home game against Toulouse, which would take place just 3 days later. But this private moment with them showed a side of Mbappé that the cameras rarely captured, someone who genuinely cared about the human connections he had made at the club. A man carrying disappointment and regret. While Mbappe's public demeanor remained respectful and emotionally mature, beneath the surface there was profound disappointment. His time at Paris Saint-Germain had been decorated with achievements. He had become the club's all-time leading scorer with 256 goals across 308 appearances. He had won 6 Ligue 1 titles in 7 seasons. He had achieved things that most players only dream about, but he had never won the Champions League. That was the trophy that had eluded him. He came close, reaching semi-finals and even making it to the final, but never lifting the trophy that every elite club covets most. When he spoke about needing a new challenge, he was referring to this unfinished business. At 25 years old, with his peak years ahead of him, he felt he needed to go somewhere where he could finally achieve European glory. The timing made his disappointment even sharper. Just days before his announcement, PSG had been knocked out of the Champions League by Borussia Dortmund in the semi-finals. When reporters asked Mbappé about the loss, he was brutally honest about his responsibility. He said he hadn't done enough. He admitted that when you are the star player, you take the credit when things go well, but you must also take the blame when they don't. He described how PSG had 70% possession and 30 shots in the second leg, but couldn't convert their chances. He said his team simply wasn't good enough in the decisive moments. The tension that built behind closed doors. What made Mbappe's reaction truly shocking was what came after his initial announcement. The The smooth farewell didn't remain smooth for long. Less than a year after leaving PSG, Mbappé filed a lawsuit against his former club for moral harassment. According to the legal filing, he claimed the club owed him €55 million in unpaid wages. In France, lofting refers to isolating a player from the team due to administrative issues. Mbappé accused PSG of exactly this during his final season, after he had informed the club in February 2023 that he would not extend his contract. Everything changed. He was left out of the team's preseason tours to Japan and South Korea. He was forced to train separately from the main squad with fringe players. He was essentially ostracized by the club that had given him everything. When he returned to Paris for matches, including his final home game at Parc des Princes, he was booed by some fans. The farewell that had seemed so touching and emotional on the surface was actually masking deep pain. PSG had treated him like a pariah after he refused to extend his contract or accept their attempts to sell him to Saudi Arabia for €300 million. From PSG's perspective, they felt betrayed. Mbappé had signed the richest contract in club history in 2022, a €630 million deal, and then just a year later told them he wouldn't use his contract extension option. Finding peace, but with scars, over the following months, Mbappé's initial reaction to leaving evolved. When asked about PSG's Champions League triumph in 2025, which came after he had left, his response was surprisingly gracious. He said he wasn't bitter. His story with PSG had ended. He had tried everything possible to win Europe's greatest trophy while wearing the Parc des Princes colours, but it wasn't meant to be. He even expressed happiness for his former teammates and the club, saying they deserved the success they had finally achieved. But he also revealed something deeper when discussing his legal dispute with the club. He explained that he wasn't acting out of spite. He was simply claiming what he felt he had earned. He said, "It's my responsibility by law. It's labor law. The procedure gave the impression that I wanted to harm PSG, but I just wanted to be paid. I have nothing against PSG, I love this club. But it's still a job, and when the money doesn't come in you have to react." By mid-2025, Mbappé made another significant decision. He dropped the harassment case against PSG. People close to him said this decision was linked to a desire for reconciliation with his former club. His anger had softened. Time had healed some of the wounds. He wanted to move forward rather than remain locked in legal battles with an institution that had been so important to his life. The real meaning of his exit, Kylian Mbappe's reaction to leaving PSG, was far more complex than a simple farewell. It was a mixture of genuine love for the club, deep disappointment at not achieving his ultimate dream of winning the Champions League, frustration at being treated poorly during his final season, and ultimately, a realization that sometimes the best relationships end not with dramatic explosions, but with quiet acknowledgement that both parties have changed. His emotional announcement video showed a player who was saying goodbye to more than just a football club. He was leaving behind his hometown club, his family's club, and the place where he had spent his formative years as a professional. The tears in his voice, the gratitude in his words, and the respect he showed to the fans revealed a person who understood the magnitude of what was ending. Yet beneath that emotional exterior lay real hurt, the kind that leads someone to pursue legal action and question how they had been treated. But ultimately, Mbappe's mature response, dropping the case and seeking peace, showed growth. He had moved on to Real Madrid, won individual awards, and was pursuing the dream that had always called to him. Paris Saint-Germain would always be part of his story, but it was no longer his present. When people discuss Mbappe's shocking reaction to leaving PSG, they are not just talking about a 30-second video announcement. They are talking about a complex human journey, one that involved gratitude and anger, love and disappointment, and ultimately, the difficult reality that sometimes the best chapters of our lives must come to an end, even when they have meant everything to us.